First case, people versus Larry Lee.
Your Honor, Mary Tanha, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. I'm happy people.
And Mary Rubio, on behalf of Mr. Lee, I am standing in for the attorney of record, David Burgess, with Mr. Lee's consent, to my knowledge. Is that correct, sir? That is okay for me to stand in for you right now?
Yes.
Okay, could you please state your name?
Thoroughly.
What is that noise?
Right. Shouldn't you check? I don't feel safe. Why are you just pointing? What? It'll stop at some point.
I feel very safe, Your Honor.
Oh, I know. He's like, you are all over it. Yes.
Case started today in People versus Larry Lee, but the courtroom unraveled fast. Lee, sounding like a classic sovereign citizen, blurted out, "I don't feel safe. What was that noise? Stop! You're all over it!" Despite approving a stand-in lawyer, his erratic behavior left the court stunned. The trial hadn't even started, and Lee was already spiraling out of control.
All right, go ahead. What are we doing?
Well, Your Honor, a few things. First of all, I've been in communication with Mr. Burgess and Mr. Arabo, who is representing the victim of the case, Mr. Quasi. Apparently, Mr. Lee called Mr. Arabo and offered to, in exchange, there's a pending case where Mr. Quasi is the defendant of an A and B against Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee contacted Mr. Arabo and offered to essentially not testify in that case if Mr. Quasi agreed not to testify in this case. There are statements that are essentially saying, in exchange for Mr. Quasi, victim in this case, not testifying, I will also not testify. That is highly concerning, of course. I was given this information yesterday. I asked Mr. Arabo to forward that call to myself, Mr. Burgess, and the officer in charge because we want to document the potential additional charges. But this all happened, transpired yesterday. We got the recording as of this morning. With that said, of course, I think it's appropriate to have an adjournment. Mr. Burgess agrees with that.
Okay, but does that recording indicate that?
Yes, Your Honor, have either one.
I myself have not listened to the recording. I was just asked to stand in on behalf of Mr. Burgess. He's at a hearing in Lansing. However, I did speak to Mr. Lee about it today. Mr. Lee indicated some of the content of the conversation to me. He also indicated, just FYI, that he himself recorded it.
But just so that I have this right, the defendant, because of something else, is urging, enticing, or in some other way interfering with testimony of witnesses in this
Well,
case.
I can't agree to that characterization because I haven't heard it. I don't know.
Well, you want to listen to, because that's what I'm being told.
But yes, I understand. I understand that is what's being presented. I also want to indicate that.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Mr. Lee has indicated to me some things.
In court, prosecutors dropped a shocking claim. Larry Lee allegedly called the victim's attorney and offered a deal. "Don't testify against me, and I won't testify against you." That's potential witness tampering. His lawyer admitted she hasn't even heard the recording yet, but the judge wasn't buying the excuses. If that tape says what the prosecutor claims, Larry Lee could face new felony charges. This case just took a dangerous turn, and the real drama is still to come.
Have advised him to be careful of what he would want to say to Your Honor, but he seems to feel that he needed to make that phone call because he wants to move to have Mr. Burgess removed and he wants to get a different attorney. Mr. Lee has indicated to me he also wants to address the court. I again did advise him I would not go into the content of that conversation as there could be potential pending new charges. With that said, Mr. Lee, what is it you wanted to say?
Yes, Judge. I indicated to, what's your name?
Mary Rubio, Ms. Rubio.
To Ms. Rubio that for a little bit over a month, I contacted my attorney, Mr. Burgess, and I instructed him to contact the lawyers from both sides, the prosecution and the other side that represented Mr. Quasney, and I instructed him to offer a plea or to negotiate some sort of settlement, and he indicated that he would do that. He indicated that he had done that. He indicated that he had reached out to Mr. Arabo and the prosecutor regarding making some sort of plea agreement. Him and I discussed what that could be. And so now, fast forward, yesterday, I contacted Mr. Burgess and I said, hey, have you reached out or have you heard anything from Mr. Arabo and the prosecutor?
In a bold move, Larry Lee addressed the court directly, despite his own lawyer warning him to stay silent. He claimed that over a month ago, he instructed his attorney, Mr. Burgess, to reach out to both the prosecution and the victim's attorney to negotiate a plea deal. Now he's frustrated, saying Burgess failed to follow through and wants him removed from the case. But here's the problem. The prosecution just accused Lee of witness tampering, and by speaking out, he may have unintentionally confirmed that he initiated back-channel negotiations. Legal risk. Talking about private instructions to your lawyer, especially about deals with the victim's side, could open you up to new charges, and it looks like the judge knows that. Larry Lee is firing his lawyer, frustrated with delays, and may have just talked himself into deeper legal trouble. This case is no longer about just one charge. It's about how far someone will go to control the narrative in court.
He said, and he indicated that he had not heard anything and that he had reached out to both attorneys multiple times. I knew that to be a lie. I suspected that to be a lie. And I knew that if I were to have him or to ask you to have him removed or substituted, that I would have to prove under Strickland versus Washington that he.
I don't know. Are you a lawyer?
I was.
Mr. Lee, no.
I
To my
was-
knowledge, no.
So I knew that I had to prove that he was ineffective. I knew that I had to prove that our breakdown was egregious. So I recorded the call myself. And I called Mr. Arabo and I asked if Mr. Burgess reached out and discussed any sort of plea negotiations. Mr. Arabo said, no, sir. He had not had any communications with my attorney. So I confirmed with Mr. Arabo that he had not received any communications about any kind of negotiations with any kind of plea agreements on my behalf.
I'm so sorry to have Mr. Lee before he makes more statements.
And I did record the.
That are false to this
I
court,
recorded the call.
criminalizing himself.
I recorded the call.
In his best interest, he might want to listen to this call before he makes any further statements. In the call that was sent to us, there is indication there's no discussion of a plea.
In a jaw-dropping courtroom twist, Larry Lee just admitted, on the record, that he secretly recorded a phone call with victim's attorney Kareem Arabo to prove that his own lawyer, David Burgess, was lying. He invoked Strickland versus Washington, saying he needed proof of ineffective counsel to get Burgess removed. So what did he do? He bypassed his lawyer and called the victim's attorney himself. I knew I had to prove our breakdown was egregious, so I called Arabo and recorded it. Here's the kicker. That's the same call prosecutors claim shows witness tampering. And now Lee has admitted he initiated and recorded it, confirming their timeline. This isn't just strategy, it's self-incrimination. Lee tried to outsmart the system, but may have just handed prosecutors their key evidence. One moment he's citing case law, the next he's confirming the felony.
Now, what was sent to me, that was recorded by Mr. Arabo. There's very clear that there will be no testimony in his case if Mr. Quanzi agrees not to testify in this case.
So I have the text messages.
Further false statements are made to the court, which is not necessarily a problem for me, but I want to make sure that Mr. Lee's rights are preserved.
I have the text
He
messages.
might want to listen.
You don't know what? That's the third time you've done it. You're gone. Mr. Allen, take him. You better get Mr. Burgess down here because I want to hear those calls because if he's interfered with it, that's going to be a whole other issue.
I will try to reach him, but I know he is in Lansing, so I'm not certain.
Well, even if he appears, right? Has Mr. Burgess heard the calls?
I don't know, Your Honor. They were sent this morning. I asked Mr. Arabo to send them right away yesterday, and we received them this morning. Mr. Arabo can also be available via Zoom if necessary.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know that what I'm hearing is extremely disturbing.
I completely understand that. Your
And
Honor.
so I'm gonna give an opportunity for the defense to give me some explanation, but I'm inclined at this point, I'm gonna hold him in custody. I'm inclined at this point to revoke his bond.
I understand.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Courtroom tension hit a boiling point as prosecutors revealed a recording where Larry Lee allegedly offered not to testify if the victim stayed silent, a textbook case of witness tampering. When Lee interrupted the hearing multiple times, the judge had him removed and warned, "I'm inclined to revoke his bond." To make it worse, defense counsel couldn't even confirm if his attorney had listened to the evidence. The court isn't waiting anymore, and Larry Lee may be headed back to custody before trial even begins. You're watching Courtroom Fallout, where real legal drama unfolds. Drop your take in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the for updates on the next explosive hearing.